Welcome to Dating Deluxe. Today's topic will spark some curiosity. 19 signs a woman has slept with many men. Let's remember this. No judgment here. Everyone's journey is different. Our goal is understanding, not shaming. We're just discussing some potential signs of a more adventurous dating history. 19. She's extremely social. Being social means she thrives in environments filled with people, such as parties, networking events, or community activities. If she's always the one organizing outings or knows half the room when you go out together, it suggests she has a broad social network. Over time, this lifestyle naturally leads to meeting many potential romantic partners. For instance, she might mention meeting someone at a concert, a friend's birthday party, or traveling abroad. Being social also means she's comfortable engaging with different personalities, which might make her more likely to explore connections on a deeper level. However, let's remember, being social doesn't necessarily mean she's been intimate with many people. It's just that she's had more opportunities to connect. 18. She's a pro at dating apps. Let's face it, dating apps have revolutionized how people meet. If she knows all the tricks, like when to swipe for the best matches, which opening lines work, or how to filter out the less serious users, it's a clear sign she's spent some time on these platforms. For instance, she might casually joke about how her Tinder profile used to be on fire, or mention how she's met a few interesting characters through Bumble. This level of expertise often indicates she's explored her options. She might have stories about memorable first dates, awkward meetups, or even a serious relationship that began online. The key takeaway is that her comfort with dating apps suggests she's open to meeting new people and has likely had her fair share of encounters, romantic or otherwise. 17. She's confident in her sexuality. Confidence in one's sexuality often comes from experience and self-awareness. A woman who is unapologetically comfortable with her desires and boundaries likely reached that point through trial and error. For instance, she might talk about how she learned what she likes in a partner or what she values most in physical intimacy. This doesn't necessarily mean she's had many partners. It simply indicates she's learned to embrace her preferences without hesitation. She may also talk openly about topics others shy away from, such as discussing intimacy in relationships or advocating for her needs. This confidence level reflects a maturity that often develops over time through both good and bad experiences. Number 16. She's knowledgeable about intimate topics. Intimate knowledge often comes from exposure to different scenarios, relationships, or even candid conversations with others. Suppose she speaks comfortably about nuanced topics like consent, communication in the bedroom, or specific techniques that foster connection. In that case, it's a sign she's either been through those experiences herself or has had meaningful discussions with others. For instance, she might share insights about how trust and intimacy go hand in hand, or describe how open communication has improved her past relationships. This kind of understanding isn't something people usually have without some degree of experience or exploration. It reflects a level of depth that suggests she's spent time understanding what works and what doesn't regarding intimacy. 15. She's open-minded about relationships. Open-mindedness about relationships means she's likely explored, or at least considered, different dynamics. For example, she might talk about monogamy, or share her thoughts on open relationships or casual flings. If she's comfortable discussing non-traditional setups, it's a sign she's either had personal experience with them, or is simply open to understanding different perspectives. She might also share stories of friends in polyamorous relationships, or discuss how society's view on love and commitment is evolving. Her ability to talk about and accept various relationship types often indicates she's had diverse experiences, which have broadened her perspective. 14. She's comfortable with male friends. Having close male friends and being at ease around them often reflects a history of forming meaningful connections with men. For example, she might mention hanging out with an ex who's now just a good friend, or talk about how she values platonic relationships with the opposite sex. This comfort suggests she's had positive and perhaps even romantic experiences that transitioned into friendships. Maintaining these bonds takes a certain level of emotional maturity, and it often comes from having navigated various types of relationships. 13. She has a history of short-term relationships. If she's been in several short-term relationships, it might suggest she values variety or prioritizes experiences over commitment. For instance, she might talk about how a fling taught her something new about herself, or prefers exploring connections without the pressure of a long-term relationship. This pattern doesn't mean she's unwilling to commit. It might simply reflect her approach to dating as a journey of self-discovery. Short-term relationships often lead to more frequent opportunities for romantic and intimate connections, contributing to a broader dating history. 12. She's independent and fierce. An independent woman knows what she wants and isn't afraid to go after it. This can also apply to her romantic life. For example, she might talk about how she took control of her happiness after a breakup, or pursued someone she was interested in without waiting for them to make the first move. Her independence suggests she's been proactive in exploring connections and forming relationships. She might also value her autonomy, which can lead to a wider variety of romantic experiences, as she's not afraid to explore what suits her best. 11. She's non-judgmental. Being non-judgmental is a hallmark of someone with a wide range of experiences. She's likely seen and heard a lot, and approaches new situations with understanding rather than criticism. For example, she might tell you about a friend's unique relationship dynamic and how she fully supports it, even if it's not for her. This perspective often comes from personal growth, shaped by diverse experiences, including romantic ones. Her open attitude makes her approachable, which might explain why she's had opportunities to connect with many people. 10. She's well-traveled. Traveling broadens your horizons. For many, it's a way to connect with people from all walks of life. If she's spent time exploring new countries, she's likely had the chance to form unique and sometimes romantic relationships. For example, she might talk about a fleeting romance in Italy, or a connection she made while volunteering abroad. Traveling also encourages self-discovery and independence, which often go hand in hand with exploring new relationships. Meeting people in different settings can lead to memorable and meaningful experiences. 9. She's a great storyteller. Someone with a lot of experience naturally has great stories to tell. If she's always sharing captivating tales from her past, including funny or romantic encounters, it shows she's lived a full life. For instance, she might recount a hilarious date gone wrong, or a time she surprised herself by stepping out of her comfort zone. Her storytelling ability reflects her willingness to embrace life's ups and downs, including those in her romantic journey. 8. She's unapologetically herself. Owning her past without hesitation is a sign of self-assurance and maturity. A woman who doesn't shy away from discussing her life, including her romantic history, demonstrates confidence. For example, she might openly talk about her past relationships, lessons learned, and how those experiences shaped her. This unapologetic attitude shows she values authenticity over trying to fit someone else's expectations. If she's comfortable saying, "Yes, I've dated a lot of people, and it taught me what I deserve," it's clear she's embraced her experiences rather than hiding from them. This openness might indicate she's had diverse encounters that helped her become who she is today. 7. She has a large social media following. In today's digital age, having a large social media presence often means interacting with many people, some of whom could become romantic interests. If she frequently posts about her life, engages with followers, and responds to messages, it suggests she's used these platforms to connect with a broad audience. For instance, she might mention meeting someone through her Instagram DMs, or how a mutual interest sparked a conversation with a follower. Social media often provides a glimpse into someone's lifestyle, and a wide-reaching presence can increase her chances of forming romantic connections. However, her popularity doesn't automatically equate to intimacy. It simply reflects her openness to interaction. 6. She knows exactly what she wants. Clarity often comes from experience. A woman who can confidently articulate what she wants in a partner or a relationship has likely spent time reflecting on past encounters. For example, she might say, "I need someone who communicates well because I've been in relationships where that was lacking." This decisiveness suggests she's navigated enough relationships to understand her needs and deal breakers. It shows she's not afraid to set boundaries and prioritize her happiness, often by exploring different dynamics and learning what works best for her. 5. She's comfortable talking about exes. Openly discussing past relationships without bitterness or hesitation is a sign she's had enough experiences to reflect on them maturely. For example, she might say, "My ex and I weren't compatible, but it taught me a lot about myself." This ability to extract lessons from past relationships suggests she values growth over regrets. She may also discuss how certain exes influenced her views on love or what she hopes to find. This comfort level indicates emotional intelligence and the kind of introspection that often comes from having a rich dating history. 4. She values privacy. Sometimes being private about her romantic history can say more than openly discussing it. If she chooses to keep certain details to herself, it might be because those experiences are deeply personal or because she's had a history she prefers to keep sacred. For example, she might respond vaguely to questions about her past or deflect conversations about numbers or specific relationships. This discretion doesn't mean she's hiding something negative. It could simply reflect her preference to move forward without dwelling on her past. Valuing privacy shows she respects her boundaries and may indicate a past richer than she lets on. 3. She's a pro at flirting. Flirting is both an art and a skill. Someone who's mastered it has likely had plenty of practice. If she can effortlessly make you laugh, hold intense eye contact, or create chemistry with just a smile, it's a sign she's confident in her ability to connect with others. For example, she might naturally know how to turn a mundane conversation into something playful and intriguing. This ease often comes from experience, as she's likely learned what works and what doesn't through her interactions. Being a great flirt doesn't necessarily mean she's been with many partners. It just shows she's comfortable exploring romantic dynamics. 2. She has a diverse social circle. A diverse social circle often reflects a person's openness to new experiences and people. If she surrounds herself with friends from different backgrounds, interests, and lifestyles, it's likely she's encountered a variety of romantic situations as well. For instance, she might talk about learning from her friends in open relationships, long-distance dynamics, or unique cultural practices. Her willingness to engage with such diversity suggests she's open-minded and adaptable, which often translates into a willingness to explore different connections herself. Chapter 1. She's adaptable in relationships. Adaptability in relationships often comes from having experienced a wide range of dynamics. If she can seamlessly transition from a casual connection to something more serious, or vice versa, it suggests she's learned to navigate complex romantic situations. For example, she might talk about handling a long-distance relationship or gracefully ending it when it wasn't working. This flexibility reflects her understanding of relationships and her ability to adjust based on the needs of each connection, which often comes from having a variety of past experiences. And that wraps up our list of 19 expanded signs. Remember, these are observations, not judgments, and everyone's story is unique. What matters most is mutual respect and understanding. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below with your thoughts. Until next time, stay curious and keep the conversations going.